In China, little pinks are powerful. They use online influence to force Taiwanese entertainers in China to support the reunification of Taiwan. They insult the Yasukuni Shrine in Japan. They are invincible online. But when they meet Jensen Huang, they discover that their magical powers are gone. Welcome to China Insights. Recently, Jensen Huang, a leading figure in the US chip industry, exploded on the web in mainland China. This is because when he was interviewed by the media during an industry event, Computex, in Taipei, he said the following: "Taiwan is one of the most important countries in the world."
Taiwan is one of the most important countries in the world.
This statement made Little Pinks crazy. What? How dare he call Taiwan a country? How dare he support Taiwan's independence? We'll make him pay. Little Pinks aren't just coming up with this in their head. The Chinese Communist government has been preying on Taiwan, especially around the time when Taiwan's newly elected president took office in May 2024. The CCP has stepped up its actions against Taiwan, raising internal interference and external threats. The shrewd Little Pinks launched a major campaign online around the time when the new Taiwan president Lai Ching-da took office, pressuring Taiwanese actors and actresses who work in the mainland to publicly state their support for the reunification of Taiwan. That is, the return of Taiwan to the hands of the CCP. Many Taiwanese entertainers succumbed to the pressure. Such success has excited Little Pinks. Despite some of them living at the bottom of the social ladder and not financially well off, when they sit behind computer screens and reach for keyboards, it's as if they have already conquered Taiwan. Now a character like Jensen Huang comes out, the revolutionary mood of Little Pinks is stirred up again. They are eager and ready to fight. But the first question for them is, who exactly is Jensen Huang? Jensen Huang, a dual citizen of Taiwan and the US, is the founder and CEO of NVIDIA, the world's chip manufacturing giant. It holds a pivotal position in both graphic computing and AI chips. When Jensen Huang was interviewed by the media, he clearly stated that Taiwan was NVIDIA's most important partner, and Taiwan was one of the most important countries in the world.
In Taiwan, this is one of our most important countries.
He made such comments more than once. Then, these remarks were quickly forwarded to social media platforms in China. Audiences who are familiar with China can imagine what kind of reaction such remarks would provoke on China's social media platforms. When Little Pinks saw the comment, they immediately went on a major crusade. Some commented, "Block NVIDIA and sanction Jensen Huang. Sanction him, don't condone it. When it's time to block, don't go soft." Others said, "This is a matter of principle, there should be no ambiguity, list the products of NVIDIA and sanction him." Referring to Taiwan as a country is a serious insult in the eyes of the CCP and in the eyes of the Little Pinks. One comment read, "That's why we must liberate Occupy Taiwan." The comment reveals that the person doesn't even know that NVIDIA is an American company. It's assumed that Jensen Huang is Taiwanese and NVIDIA must be a Taiwanese company. That kind of comment isn't uncommon. In other words, some Little Pinks aren't even clear on basic facts before acting out their patriotic fervor. There are some sensible Chinese who commented on the issue. For example, one said, "Don't worry, even with such statements, his graphics cards are still selling like hotcakes. Video game businesses would still beg to have their products. It's in no way hindering his ability to make money. This is having a backbone. I haven't seen it for a while." Domestic companies are the same too. New energy car companies are mostly using his chips, such as BYD, Xiaomi, and NIO. Some people are cursing Jensen Huang, saying that they knew long ago that he was no good, he didn't deserve to be Chinese, and he was the common enemy of all Chinese. In reality, Jensen Huang has never lived in China. He is a native Taiwanese. He went to the US to study, stayed there, and started NVIDIA. But what baffles Little Pinks is that they were very successful in forcing Taiwanese entertainers to share the post, Unification of Taiwan. Even the official CCTV news shared those posts, which means that their actions were endorsed by the government. It made Little Pinks very excited. But it's different when it comes to Jensen Huang. He made those remarks a few days ago. Usually, whenever the issue of Taiwan independence is mentioned, the CCP will immediately react and declare that it will sanction, boycott, strongly condemn, etc. But this time, all the official media haven't said a word, and all the bloggers have been quiet. Only Little Pinks are out cursing and making accusations. They are confused now. We have made so many Taiwanese entertainers bow down and share the post of the unification of Taiwan. How come the government is silent when there's a Taiwanese entrepreneur across the table? Little Pinks may not realize that since the US has imposed a high-tech ban on the CCP, high-end chips have become the CCP's biggest headache. The CCP has always wanted to fight the US and the Western democratic society and wanted to take over Taiwan. Doing that requires strong technology and military power. But once the supply of chips is cut off, especially the supply of high-end chips, the CCP's scientific research, civilian and military manufacturing have been greatly hindered or come to a halt. For example, Huawei's market share shrank greatly after its 5G chips were cut off. To put it bluntly, the CCP doesn't dare to mess with Jensen Huang, much less sanction NVIDIA, which would cut off their already limited sources of common process chips. On mainland China, in addition to most computers using NVIDIA's graphics cards and chipsets, even the new energy vehicles, one of the new 3 things that Xi Jinping has pushed for, are also using NVIDIA's products. In March, mainland media reported that BYD, the star of domestic EVs, had just announced that it would use NVIDIA products as its next-generation smart car chips. Moreover, XPeng Motors and Li Auto use products from NVIDIA for their onboard chips. Those 3 are the leading EV makers in China, known as the trio of domestic EVs. This is the reason why the CCP official media is silent. If we go by Little Pink's logic to boycott NVIDIA, the first thing to do is to boycott BYD, XPeng Motors, and Li Auto, right? Using products from a company that insults China would have made them traitors. Moreover, Little Pinks themselves need to get rid of the NVIDIA graphics cards in their computers and replace them with the domestic products. Do you think Little Pinks would be willing to do that? The dilemma faced by Little Pinks is similar to what Xi Jinping is facing. On the one hand, the CCP wants to be anti-West and boycott the West. On the other hand, it relies on the West and can't live without it, especially in high-end chip manufacturing. The CCP is simply not self-reliant and depends on imports from developed countries. Thus, we see a situation where the CCP doesn't hesitate to suppress and penalize Taiwanese entertainers who rely on the mainland market, but to those who stand on their own merits, such as Jensen Huang, who has the CCP by the throat. The CCP doesn't dare to play hardball, it puts on a deaf ear and pretends that nothing happened. But to do nothing would make it look bad. The CCP must find someone who isn't official but can speak with some influence to say what it wants to say. So, in the last 2 days, Hu Xijin, the former editor-in-chief of the Global Times, a state tabloid paper on the mainland, made the following remarks on social media. When Jensen Huang left Taiwan on the 8th, he responded to reporters' questions about his previous claim that Taiwan is one of the most important countries in the world, saying, "I am not making a geopolitical comment, but thanking all our technology partners for their support and contribution to the industry." This was obviously a response that Jensen Huang had prepared in advance. He hoped to downplay the political interpretation of his previous statement and make a big deal out of a small matter. As a mainland media person, I hope that Jensen Huang will stabilize his attitude of not interfering in geopolitics, which is the common motto of most of the world's top corporate leaders. That will not only be beneficial to NVIDIA's long-term development, but will also be more in line with the basic logic of globalization and more conducive to the promotion of peace. This post got Little Pinks excited again, thinking that the official sanction against Jensen Huang would come soon. But they were disappointed as no other official media followed up on this criticism of Jensen Huang. This has thrown Little Pinks into a state of bewilderment. They just want to put on a patriotic show despite having only a limited understanding of the real world. Apart from the Jensen Huang incident, what happened recently in Japan has once again shown us the true state of Little Pink's patriotic fervor. An online sensation from mainland China called Ironhead posted a story of him going to the Yasukuni Shrine in Japan at night. When no one was around, he urinated on the stone pillars at the entrance. On the pillar that has Yasukuni Shrine engraved, he wrote "toilet" in English with red paint. This video became viral, spreading quickly and receiving praise from countless Little Pinks, including people who aren't necessarily Little Pinks but have been brainwashed by the CCP with nationalism for years and hold strong hatred of Japan. They called Ironhead a warrior, and what he did was a patriotic act that should be honored. This individual gained his online fame by exposing fakes. In February 2024, his account was suspended for his indecent remarks during the live streaming where he told stories of him visiting brothels and so on. Now, in order to regain traffic, he orchestrated a show, using the drama to win the so-called patriotic traffic. In essence, it's still about making money. The patriotic fervor has a condition, that is, it has to be safe, and he won't bring harm to himself. This individual knew that Japan was a democratic and courteous country. He would be safe making trouble there. In terms of hurting China, Russia isn't better than Japan. It invaded China before, occupied Chinese land, and killed many Chinese as well. But he wouldn't dare go to Russia's Red Square to take the piss because he knows that Russia isn't Japan and he would pay a heavy price. He doesn't dare to mess with Russia, not different from the CCP. There's a saying online that describes Little Pinks all too well. They're only brave when it's safe and only generous when it's free. This incident has caused quite a social stir in Japan. It spread throughout Japan quickly. Japanese legislators have come out and commented on the story, condemning it as being awful, that it must be punished. However, this man had fled back to China on the same day after the misdeed. In other words, whether it's to expose fakes or to express patriotic fervor, it's all business in China. It displays a social ill. This Little Pink's behavior will most likely lead to a further deterioration of Sino-Japanese relations. For Chinese people who have already immigrated to Japan and settled in the society, it will bring unwanted troubles in their lives and invite discrimination from the Japanese people. But these surely are beyond the scope of thought of Little Pinks. Thank you for watching China Insights. We'll see you next time.